He puts the large iron key in the lock and unlocks it and slides sort of open the thing. And the smell of town assails your ears, particularly sweaty and.
The smell of town assails your ears.
I just wanted to double check that.
We can't get him let him get away with
Oh, it smells terribly. Oh my goodness.
The smell of town assails your nostrils.
There we go.
Well, here we are again, back in the world that John started.
Which hasn't got it's still doesn't have a name.
Under the Gods, because that was the name of the first one we did.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, with those two epic gods fighting each other and the scales falling off the dragon and turning into scorpions, which I then defleshed and rose.
It's very Final Fantasy with like multiple universes and different takes on it and version 13 part 4.
It's awesome. And then the prequel, which was one of the funnest games I've
Which will be
had.
up by the time this one comes
Which
up.
will be up, yep, you'll have seen that with the castle getting knocked over by the dragon.
Dragons.
Epic playing from everybody.
Oh no, I'm a dragon slayer.
And then we even had the brother being raised from the dead, and oh my god, he turned out to be some sort of freaky lich thing. That's the same campaign.
The same one with the city that was disappeared in the
City,
sand.
that's right.
We've had quite a few on this now.
So hang on, so wasn't that the first one? Like the absolute first one?
The first one was the gods fighting.
Yeah, that's it.
Hence it's called the Under the Gods game.
You can't come up with a better
Inexplicably. We'll call it That's right.
Only if you can spell that. Put it on YouTube.
That's right. We'll have attempts like this whole list of attempts how to spell Fabulous. Well, here we are again in this same world. This world of deserts and dust. And the PCs have been. This is now after the war, a significant period of time after the war, several years after the war. The PCs have been wandering aimlessly. Nothing in life seems quite as intense as that experience that they had in the war together. No sense of brotherhood can be regained like the sense of brotherhood that they had fighting side by side to the death, barely clinging on to life along with each other.
The dragon was pretty.
Slaying dragons with a single whip blow while the fire was inside its ribs burning to death. Nothing's quite the same really. They have fallen into a life of dull drudgery, small jobs, cleaning up small crimes and things like that, militia sort of work and things like that. They've wandered their days through from desert town to desert town and eventually come to what's called the Translands, which are with this area transitioning from the totally arid rolling sands of the deserts into kind of a tundra sort of area where there's lots of stones and small plants and occasional animals, but it's pretty arid and hard life. They've stumbled in the town of Aras, which is one of these trading towns that trades water and food with the desert and trades the spices of the desert with the rest of the land. There's various different spices that can be harvested from the sands and the winds of the desert.
Is it near the coast or is it?
It's not near the coast yet. No, the coast is further to the west, far to the west, and the lands become eventually grassy and stuff like that. But the players have the PCs have at the moment just haven't found their way there yet. They feel drawn and connected with the desert after their experiences there.
Deep emotional connection.
Yeah, emotional connection, and really, all that they have as a remnant of the wars is each other, and they've found themselves. Bound.
I don't know too bad.
Just me dragging my dragon skull around so people
This was something that was really important.
I did this.
That's right. And they've become in Aras a part of the Order Keepers, who are essentially the town guard. It's kind of a cushy, waste of time job, mopping up small criminals and solving bar fights and doing a little bit of muscle work, more cynically, for the upper class part of town, who likes to keep the lower class part of town under control. Keep them out of their areas, keep them from causing trouble.
The upper class being mostly like traders,
Yeah, that's right. The people who own, you know, the entire
Caravan
sort of dock
building.
area, or the people who sort of own, you know, the cloth trade, or the people who own the spice trade, and they don't do any real work. They just control. They efficiently, you know, to create enough wealth altogether to a certain extent to keep the town going, to keep people in work, and you know, pay for the militia and pay for the politicians. Yeah.
I said that
bought.
your character probably drank away all your profits from the mines
Oh.
that you would have 5% profit.
Thanks for just ruining me.
I'm
you
setting
are
up- I'm
you
setting
are
up for when
now.
I'm GMing, and you have no profits. Is that right then? That's how it works. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I feel that you lost an arm maybe in the last battle. After I defeated the dragon, you know, it's very different.
But where you find yourself now is on a stormy night
Ooh.
in
Ooh.
a massive arena, which has turned up in the last week or so. A travelling band called Madam Sliver's Spectacular Spectaculum, and playing tonight.
Spectacular spectaculism.
Spectacular Spectaculum.
The oldie woody group.
It's a very dodgy group, and she's crying out in the middle of the arena. Tonight you will see a show more amazing to behold than anything you have seen before. Your dull lives of drudgery will pass away as you enter a fantastical world of joys and wonders, of terror and amazement. She goes on in this sort of vein for a while. Gouts of flame burst up from around her as she throws down dust onto the ground. This is also part of the course for what you see. But eventually, the show gets underway. You guys are ensconced in the stands, you know, semi-drunk from an afternoon sort of drinking already. You worked all last night, you're feeling tired, you probably should have gone to bed, but this place has intrigued you. There's
I'm a
also-
magician myself, so
That's right.
I'm drawn to the arts.
Drawn to the arts, that's right. You could hardly call this art, but you know, at least it's worth
Better than my art.
a bit of a look.
Hey.
She looks like this. She's a bit of a freak herself. She has piercings all over her body. She's got a tightened body spotter. She's a fair bit older than she probably imagines she would, and that she wishes she were still. Arrayed around the arena are a whole lot of quite rather large-looking fellows in sort of paper masks and sort of daubed-on makeup and things. Who sort of wander suspiciously around and poke at people. None of them say a word, but they keep their proceedings underway. The show proceeds with a rather extraordinary display of weird and wonderful creatures who come in and out of the arena, and some combat between creatures. It's hard to tell what's illusion and what's real. Clearly some of these creatures are real by the way they bleed and collapse and are dragged off and cared for by the artisans of the circus. And some of the other creatures are obviously illusionary as they sort of seem to fold themselves out of the darkness and fold away. Probably the most remarkable parts of the show are the series of black glistening scaled dragons who hurtle around in the arena, often sliding off. Maybe there's some sort of force field or something around the edges to keep them free of the audience, and as their breath weapons gout forth, sort of shimmering off obviously some sort of force field. There's a fair amount of heavy magic here in this show, which is impressive and does indeed.
I could replicate it. It's just not now.
It takes you back to the days when life was glorious and there was fire raining from the sky and pools of acid and combat and greatness, and you're very quickly caught up in the show. The show folds into out of order, and very quickly the stands are served by a weird sort of weird creatures like this.
You have fun on the internet.
Prostitutes and the like who come and service sort of the eager clientele. There's candies and the like that get passed around, and drinks that are given. do you guys sort of accept all this and get caught up in it?
Yeah, definitely. I think.
Yep.
You quickly find yourself realizing you've imbibed various sort of drug-like things. There's this stuff called harlot's sweets, which go around and harlot's sweets, yeah.
That's important.
Various men and women stagger off with companions, sure to be sort of robbed and fleeced of everything they have, or even disappeared. Children are sort of chasing these
Well,
clowns.
anyway.
The clowns seem to pay particular attention to the children who chase after them playing games, and you guys are eventually left alone. No one sort of approaches you.
Oh, that's kind of depressing.
They interest
Not
you,
even
but
prostitutes.
We looked at each other and go, oh, big brothers to the end.
you guys look particularly disconsolate, and you're already quite exhausted,
Yeah.
and you don't look sort of approachable. Or maybe you don't look quite so naive as the rest of the folks. And the place is emptied out, and eventually you stumble out of the place. You have a shift which should start around midnight, and you really need to try and get some sort of sleep at some point.
I drank way too much to be.
Marcus needs to sober up.
There's a couple of
Quickly,
hours.
get me beer.
There's a
Light
couple-
beer.
I need to sober up.
Light beer to sober up. Sober him up gently.
I drank wine before. This will be fine.
There's a couple of hours before midnight, so you return to barracks, I presume, to try and just get
We'll
a bit
just
of
dunk.
rest.
Dunking
That's
his
right.
head into barrels of water.
I cook up a pot of strong coffee.
Yeah. Spiced coffee. From
Shentia, who's the barrack boss, who's reasonably fair, a little bit pedantic, a little bit sort of control freak, kind of your king of your own castle kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
he's the king of this pathetic sort of dishevelled group of town guards who actually don't do anything particularly useful, but by God, he's the king of it. He's a big guy. He talks about his actions in the war and things like that in the past. You're sort of a bit suspicious of him. Either he really didn't battle in the war at all, or he certainly wasn't in your division. And his recollection of some of the key battles of the war is a little bit questioning.
Can we do like a knowledge local roll? See if we remember it.
Well, you're in the war and you don't recognise him. You know,
War couldn't have been that big.
That's right. The war was pretty disorganised.
I knew anybody who was important.
So perhaps, I mean, obviously, you know, you like to think that you guys were central to most of the important battles, which of course isn't true in any
We
way
did
at
have
all.
amnesia, so there's possible.
Yes.
Possibly
was.
we don't remember.
You did take quite a battering.
Amnesia, best storytelling method ever.
Yes, good race to have. So, any questions about all that?
No.
So you guys grab a bit of kip for just a couple of hours, and sort of reel awake in the darkness of the morning, presuming it's sort of, oh God, you know, it must be 1 o'clock. Wish someone should have woken us. You come staggering out in the common room of the barracks. So you've got a whole lot of little rooms, and then the common room which has weapons and everything like that are sort of all stowed away, and guards are assembled there, and then go out on patrols on the streets to keep the town safe. You come out and Shentia is sitting there with his feet up. It looks, it's like sort of the morning light is actually rising. He's like, good to see you gentlemen finally stumbling from your bench.
Why didn't you wake us up?
Oh, shush.
I thought I'd just let you sleep. There was no need for you anyway.
Is it a quiet night, is it?
We've been locked down.
What do you
No
mean
guards on
locked
the street
down?
tonight.
Why?
By order of Reginus Mathis.
Reginus.
Oh, my head.
Reginus Mathis
We
is,
know-
you know, of course, is basically sort of the self-appointed mayor, sort of boss, sort of political leader, which means he's slept and bought his way and manipulated in the middle ground between the nobles and the militia.
Well, Reginus knows best.
Yes, nights like these.
Who is it we were talking to?
You're talking to Shentia.
Shentia. Oh, this is the barrack boss. And
He was the barrack boss.
Very nice of him for letting us sleep in.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there any favours that you wish of us?
Just go back to sleep, and you can go. As soon as the sun comes up, you're free to go.
Well, I'm immune to sleep being an elf. I might have a look around.
Oh yes, I forgot about your type.
I'm like Tyler Durden. I don't sleep at all.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there, he's like,
Just sleep, but is immune.
meditate, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Enter a restful state.
I might go for a little wander around, find an apple.
Around town?
Pull an
Yeah,
apple
I'll
from the
join
barrel.
So you go to the door, and the door is you start to get to the door, and Shinty says, "I told you, it's locked down. No leaving until the sun rises."
But we're not on official guard duty now.
We're just civilians.
The guard is locked down. You can leave when the sun rises.
Well, but what about Rosie?
Rosie?
Yeah.
Who's Rosie?
You haven't seen Rosie?
Oh my good, he hasn't seen Rosie.
She is a woman.
Mm.
Well, she is a woman of some. Well, I can't see her very clearly, but I've been told that her looks exceed that of even
My dancing ability.
your dancing ability,
Which you've also not seen.
which I'm sure is excellent.
Yes.
But all I've seen is a silhouette of it.
Tonight is the night for the circus, and you know, them in charge didn't want the circus interfered with.
Maybe I could put in a good word with Rosie for you.
Oh.
If we could go stretch our legs.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But you're not on duty, okay? The guard was meant to be locked down tonight.
I'll leave my badge at the door.
Excellent. Badge, as if we could bloody afford badges. Yeah. So he goes up to the door.
Well, I take the badge up.
He got his own mate.
Castile.
He puts the large iron key in the lock and unlocks it and slides sort of open the thing. And the smell of town assails your ears, you know, particularly sweaty and.
The smell of town assails your ears.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I just
wanted to double check that I
we
heard correctly.
can't get him let him get away with
Oh,
that.
it smells terribly. Oh my goodness.
The smell of town assails your nostrils.
There we go.
And
that's one for the highlight.
it's a particularly sweaty, pheromone smelling sort of feeling this morning, and there's a damp, low hanging fog, sort of smog on town.
Lots of jewel droppings everywhere. And
You can see people sort of quickly running off into the distance, and you can hear sort of as you step out into the street, you can hear distant sort of gigglings and things of people partaking in carnal pleasures in the corners of sort of rooms and things like that. Corners of alleys and things like that, and lights on, you know, throughout different parts of the town, and people staggering back, prostitutes sort of walking arm in arm, sort of all spent back towards the circus.
Circuses. They always bring the best artists.
So where do you go?
Tavern.
Best way for a fix a hangover is to get another one.
Is there a tavern that we frequent?
Oh,
There is. What's the name of it?
One Eye. Oh, he's got a new tavern that he opened.
He's got a new
recently.
tavern?
Yeah.
Why not?
Definitely one of
Is it called his old one was called the Lazy Breeze, so
The
maybe
Lazy
it could be
Breeze.
something similar to
The
that.
Lazy Sleaze.
I think he's going for exactly the same name.
The
Absolutely.
Lazy Breeze.
The Lazy Breeze.
He's followed.
He's franchising.
It's not so much right. It's not so much that he wanted to move. He just
Oh,
basically
one
followed
hand.
his best customers.
Marcus.
Marcus,
The Dragon Slayer.
His best customers.
By the way,
Marcus, who has a habit of buying rounds for everybody.
and also spent a lot of my money on buying dragon, which I've made my signet. So I've got dragon, you know,
A scale, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
all embreasted, like, you know,
Oh,
different.
nice.
My whole cloak is covered in a dragon's skull. Just, you know, my hood.
Entire dragon.
No, but like the
Spends a lot
picture.
on embroidery and stuff.
And so I put my hood up and it looks like a dragon from the side.
This is where you spend
Because
5% of your mind.
one-
Yes.
Right, that's right.
I am the drag. I just want everybody to know. Like, if I could have a sign that goes above me, then yes.
My image of your hood is it's a dragon onesie.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
I
It's like it's got scales down the side and little fake wings out the back.
yeah.
Absolutely, and yeah, so you basically like to always talk about this dragon. You know,
Oh.
it's the closest you can hold on to past glories.
And I've got a tooth hanging.
And once he reaches a certain amount of inebriation, he then tends to buy drinks for the entire pub, and people sit around and laugh at this story as it comes out, and it's becoming sort of more and more elaborate every single time it happens.
Well, there were 12 dragons,
That's right.
and I thought I'd only deal with 11 and let my
That's
friends here. But then, of course,
Exactly, that sort of thing. And it's unclear whether the town admires Marcus as a hero of the war or admires him as just on plain entertainment's sake,
or the guy who buys him drinks.
or the guy who buys him drinks,
And
or
will
the guy.
take you to the tavern.
Exactly.
Free drinks.
Oh, the hangover.
Is the lazy breeze? Is it a cloth tent? Is it a structure, a wooden structure?
It's in a more traditional structure now. It's just
It's more
basically a tavern that he bought out. A lot of these towns had a lot of missing business owners. After the war, kind of by the end of the war, a third of the clientele a third of the people of the town had basically disappeared. By partaking in the war or by fleeing as refugees. So. Good old One Arm was quite able to move in and take over a premises on a semi-official basis.
One hand, yeah.
One hand.
Good old One
Hand.
I pay the drinks.
He's
He's whatever I want him to be.
Chopped off his arm as well.
Everyone give me perception checks as you walk towards the pub.
Like a boss.
Not very well.
14 plus 24. In my drunken state.
21.
24?
Yep. Is it far away or close?
That's a good point. Is it far away or close?
You have a flashback.
Oh, I love flashbacks.
Of plunging your weapon into the guts of an enemy. In fact...
You mean by dancing and whipping him lightly?
That's right. Of grabbing... of spinning your whip around the neck of an undead dwarf, a freshly undead dwarf, and yanking with your friends the head off and the head coming off and blood spraying out, and that irony, bloody smell hits your nostrils, and suddenly Marcus is stopped and white sheeting, standing in the middle of the street.
Going for my whip.
Yeah, he's got his hand on
I
his whip,
look around, squinting.
and you can smell blood. It's what you realise has set off this.
What is it? Another dragon.
No, there is blood in the air. Who? Where are they?
I can't smell anything.
I just go for my whip and I just start looking around. I'm obviously with the perception of 24. I'm
Yeah,
obviously
so Marcus
looking at the
is
general
around.
direction
Yeah,
of
is
it.
So there's a definite smell. Did you say blood?
I said blood.
Yeah, you can definitely smell blood.
Alright.
It's somewhere around the front of this tavern, somewhere around maybe in a side alley or whatever.
Can I use some of my range wish type skills to see if I can
Yeah.
find it?
Yep.
Just
So
make sure
you
step
eventually
back from it.
you eventually find a bit of a spattered trail leading out of one of the alleys. And
Okay.
you follow your way down the side of the lazy breeze. You've got your equivalent of trash cans and cardboard boxes, but in a fantasy setting.
Some good G right there.
That's right.
So you got like
blah,
That's
dumpster,
You-
graffiti.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You've got barrels and boxes and things,
Yeah.
old vegetables,
Great.
and around the corner behind one of these,
Old
you
lady
see little dark feet poking out, lying sort of from behind one of these boxes.
I see something. I can't. There's a blurry shape over there.
I go
some
over and
feet.
just
Ah, feet.
So lying down behind one of these boxes is a bloodied body of a sort of a young child, a young brown-skinned child. Maybe she was 11 or 12, maybe at some point before she was brutally sort of cut open.
I look around.
Her clothes are torn, sort of whatever clothes there were existing, are sort of torn away from her body, and she's obviously been molested and taken advantage of, and then dispatched. Not necessarily in that order.
Does she look like somebody of any renown?
She's
Someone
not
well-to-do?
from this area. You don't get this sort of coloured kid sort of in this area. This area is quite a human-centric sort of town. A lot of the mixed race people have been driven out. You cop a fair bit of flack on a sort of regular basis, but you're part of the militia. So the militia being quite sort of brutal and corrupt at times, or you don't. they're sort of you're best avoided rather than incited. But you're very aware that this is a very human-centric town. So this kid is some other, another breed of human with a dark skin, possibly further from the east in the deserts.
I'm gonna pick her. Pick her up.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take her straight back to what's his name?
One up.
To Shentia.
Shintia? So you pick up
And
this
they
child.
kick open the door.
Yeah, so you're walking through town. You attract a fair bit of attention from people. You know,
I've got
walking along.
that look on my face, like I'm getting
Her blood is soaking into your clothes, and it's pretty horrific. And you know, it sort of makes you guys want to gag. This sort of horrible image, and you walk back to the barracks and kick down the door. And
Shentia!
He was actually sort of asleep with his legs up.
I'm gonna dump the body onto
His desk.
he's asleep at his desk or in bed.
His desk is there. He's on a chair. He's got his chair up on a stool. He's got his feet up on a stool, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna dump the body into his lap.
This
Is what happened when we were locked inside and supposed to be on our watch.
He tips it out. He tips it out onto the ground and. Just quickly sort of looking around for something to cover it up with, cover this girl up with.
I swear by the gods Ishin and Soot that you will pay for this.
What? What? This is awful. What's this? Oh.
This girl has been raped.
Oh God.
And killed,
cover it
obviously.
up. Oh. He quickly goes into his room and brings out a blanket and throws it over the little girl, and then sort of stands there, sort of trying to wipe the blood off him.
I don't know how big he is, but I'm gonna grab him around.
Yeah, he's quite a lot bigger than you. But
Garlic out at this stage. I'm enraged, and I'm gonna slam him against the wall. Now, why were we locked inside tonight?
It was just orders from above. Residence Mathers said that all the guards should be locked down so that the circus could be free to run its clientele like it normally does.
You're our leader. You should know more than this.
Just get off me. Just pushes you off a bit.
Yeah, cool.
Look, it's not for me to make decisions. You should take it up with the town authorities and with the upper class.
We intend to.
Dun, dun, dun.
Turn.
What am I supposed to do with that?
You're the leader. Deal with it yourself.
God. This wasn't meant to happen today.
When we kick the door as we go out.
So you guys walk back out and you see him sort of, trying to gather up.
Oh, we should totally get ready for guard duty.
Let's head back. Let's head over to Regin's Mathers.
Can we do like a montage of us getting ready with all our proper gear?
Yeah. Change my clothes.
Yeah, you actually set yourselves up a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Make sure you're fully armed.
Montage style.
Yep. With all my dragon hide armor.
Head over to Regin's Mathers.
Over to Regis Mathis. Okay, so you're exiting your sort of area of town and walking up the hill a bit, kind of to a slightly more respectable part of town.
Mm-hmm.
There are militia. Town. The order keepers. They're not militia. They're order keepers. On guard around the town, around this area of town. Looks like they've been there all night. They're looking tired. You can see, there's lights on in the house and stuff. The morning is waking up. Can you give me perception checks again?
Oh dear. 11?
33.
Oh my God.
14.
So right in the distance,
14.
right in the distance where your vision is absolutely crystal clear.
Oh, for 35 then.
That's right. Yeah.
You see molecules moving.
That's right. What do you see? You see
Everything.
Dust motes.
Have you ever played Batman game? It's like when you see where people have walked. It's
Detective fishing.
you see a man sitting on his balcony and leaning down at his feet, polishing his shoes. Is a similarly coloured young girl. Right at the end.
This is not Mathis's house. This is
not Mathis' house. It's just some other random.
Cool. Oh, okay. I'll point up there.
We can't see anything.
I point them out.
Ah. We walk.
She looks the same race.
You see him as you're going to start walking towards there.
Yeah, okay.
You see him. She I don't know, does something wrong or whatever. Who the hell knows? And he backhands her and picks her up and drags her in. Opens the door and throws her in the house and you call out.
You call out, you there!
And he enters the house and closes the door.
Can I whip?
So you're still,
the door.
when that happened, you were kind of still 50 feet away or so, and you sort of run up towards the house. Yeah.
I open the door.
You arrive on the balcony of this house.
No, at the door at the bottom.
Yeah.
I can't get to the balcony, can I?
Oh, sorry. It was like the front area of the house. Yeah.
I see, like a porch. A
Porch.
veranda.
My imagination just went down a
That's
level.
right.
Yeah.
Let's say he was on the balcony then. That's even better. Yeah, that's much more safe for the upper class. Okay, so you arrive at the door below, and you beat on the door. Yeah. There's no response for a while.
Pick lock.
Yeah, I'm not.
Where's Murray when you need him?
I've got,
Wooden door.
I've got an axe. Do you want to just break
No,
it?
he has another thing. He has another thing.
Okay, we knock again.
I'm gonna go see if there's a back window or an entrance.
Can I intimidate the door?
So as you're sort of beating on this door and you start to sort of suspiciously wander around the front, you see a couple of the order keepers, slightly more well-equipped order keepers, start to sort of take a bit of an interest in you guys. And
More well equipped.
I'll gesture for them to come over.
I'm very well
well,
equipped.
sorry, sorry, not well-equipped, more well-equipped than you.
He's got dragon.
But more well-equipped than that's right, more well-equipped than the general, sort of sod who usually volunteers for this sort of thing. They sort of wander over and.
Did they know us? Like, have we met them before in the whole order keeper world?
Not so much. You guys tend to stay down your end of town. For some reason or another, you sympathise more with the kind of the working class sort of guard, and you haven't sort of made it into the elite sort of area. These two men come over and say, "Good morning, gentlemen."
Oh, I'm
seems to
glad
be
you're
the
here. Shentia sent us. We're here on official business.
Shentia, from the lower quarters.
Yes.
Lovely.
We're here on official business. Maybe you could open this door for us.
Can you help us?
Open this door. This is someone's private property.
Well, we'd
Are
like
you
to
city
check.
guard?
What was that?
Help us out.
Help you out. We'll help you out by telling you your place. You should be down in the lower quarters where you belong. Clearly you're not part of the guard up here, otherwise I would know you.
I just told you we weren't. We're with Shentia. Listen. There's been a horrific murder. We believe that the person in here may have something to do with it.
A horrific murder. Oh, you can be rest assured that the person up here has nothing to do with it. It happened in the lower quarters, did it?
I'm gonna bring my rapier or my elven curb
Ooh.
of awesomeness, and I'm gonna bring it up to his chin
Excellent.
to make a slight nick in his chin.
Whoa! Give me a roll, see if you pop off his head. 1!
I got 19.
19.
Is he flat-footed?
Yep.
Pretty sure he is.
Yeah, so you get this blade up. He's no man of competence. And suddenly you cut his chin. He just staggers back. He says, "Whoa! What are you doing? You fool! Be careful with that. Someone could get injured."
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that this was actually sharp.
Oh,
Listen, you're either on our side or you're
I'm
not.
bleeding now. What have you done?
You're either on our side or you're not. Choose.
Yes, clearly we're on your side.
Excellent. Help us open this door.
Open the door, but this is this man's private property.
Are we not the
Order keepers.
Are we not the great order keepers? Is
Yes,
it not our
well-
role to promote order and keep it?
Surely you should see. Surely you should see Mathis. He would give you a warrant to enter this property. A nobleman's property is not easily violated. I'm bleeding so much. Go see. Come back here with a warrant from Mathis, and I'll help you enter this property.
Guard this property
take us-
until we're back.
Take us to Mathis.
Oh, well, my friend can. Yes.
I'm gonna go to it back.
That's right. Oh God, I'm bleeding so much.
I'm your henchman. I'm a minion.
He died.
Yeah.
We come back
He
into
doesn't have a
the
name.
picture.
He probably does.
Mathis is the man. Yeah, of course.
Mathis is the
Yeah.
man.
Let's go find Mathis.
We come back in his red shirts all red.
I'm feeling a little woozy.
That collapsed on the
So
ground.
you follow this other order keeper as he quite nervously sort of tries to stay behind you and keep guard. But
But also show us where to go.
that's right.
So
Also
he
shows you
sort of
where to
runs
go.
to the front and runs to the back.
So like this, and you see, of course, I mean, you haven't really been up here very often, really. There's busy courthouse. It's a stone building. It's probably one of the more more established buildings in the whole town, sort of where people get dragged and harangued, and where people pay their fines and their taxes and their bribes. I mean, not that sort of stuff goes on.
No, of course not.
This isn't
As we
politics.
walk, I'm sort of calming down a bit.
Yeah.
Is this something we want to do?
I don't know, you cut the guy's chin.
Like, I'm sorry, I sort of lost my temper. That's,
A little
is this what we want to be doing? A girl, she didn't deserve that.
I think we need to do something.
We
We're sort of committed.
We kind of are.
you cut the guy's chin open. Well, you can't like go back and say, "Oops,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't mean to do that. Never mind.
Will this get us to our ultimate needs? Where are we?
The tavern. We passed the tavern on the way here.
That's where I want to be. Drink. People get hurt.
I don't know about you, but I'm sick of being here, and I'm sick of being part of the lower militia.
I agree. Let's get out of the town.
Or maybe we could cause a stir on our way out. Because we are heroes!
I am the dragon slayer.
Yes, we do it.
You guys, so you arrive at the thingy. I mean, can I just emphasize, you really are free to do whatever you want.
Cool, yeah, okay, cool. I'm not very ready. Okay.
No, absolutely. You guys really are. I have.
I have no
I have a whole,
adventure.
I have a whole of a character, whole situation, just a reality. And you
Cool,
can
open
play
well.
it out whatever you want. Absolutely. So you arrive at Mathis's office.
What time is it, roughly?
Now it's probably only kind of 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Yeah, you stumbled out into town maybe sort of 7 before light came up. You wandered around, you found the girl, you went back, you got a bit changed. So yeah, it's still very early morning. You are sort of hurry. The guy doesn't even sort of announce or anything. He just knocks on the door and sort of sends you in, and then.
Hang on, I say, okay. What is the name of the man whose house we were knocking at?
let me make up a name.
Rogerus.
He said, "I don't know that sort of thing. I'm sorry."
What is the name of the street?
It was. I think it's
51 Main Street. What I'm looking for is a way to identify it for a warrant.
Yes.
Just take your time.
Second High Street.
Second High
Be
Street.
calm, he hasn't drunk yet.
And was there something about the house?
It was the one with the balcony.
was-
That was the only one with the
Balcony.
with the balcony.
Excellent. Cool.
Just go in, okay? And
Okay, thank you. I'm
Have a
sure
good- have a good
I'll
day.
mention your good service.
thank you,
What was your name?
Andrew.
Thank you. Very appropriately named character in a fantasy universe.
The end.
I'm Andrew Nearest.
I will look straight in.
Good. You see.
Are you a diplomatic kind of person?
Look, I have a sword that's on fire.
Do you want to do the talking then? Are
I
you the diplomat?
no.
Isn't that your bard?
Let me
Bard's
just say
not
that
total
my
diplomat.
diplomacy is 0.
I can
At
perform.
least it's not negative, But I really have no bonuses in that.
See, my charisma's quite low, so I'm not very good at diplomacy
Yeah.
either. I thought you were the bard. That
I-
you would do the talking.
Look, somebody thought I could do the talking.
How about
what's your
because you're the
charisma?
bard, you're naturally more gifted at talking than us.
Okay,
So
and
you
if I
should
need to
tell
do a roll,
Look,
I'm-
if you change
You
your
can use
tactics
dice
and
if
you
you
need
want
to
use them
intimidate,
for a roll.
you can call on me.
stand behind me, fool.
Alright.
Intimidate, I can.
I
do.
walk into the room with my whip out, grab the door, and whip it open.
Bluff and diplomacy, not so much.
We walk in.
You walk in, the door's open. There's a man sitting there in a blue, floor-length robe.
It's probably the man.
A bit pretentious.
Push Nathan forward. Push
He's
Marcus
got
forward.
a shock of sort of hair from this side, sort of fold back. That's probably meant to have been combed over, but it's
early.
It's early in the morning. He's thin-faced. He's got piercing blue eyes. He's busy writing, scrawling on the desk, and he has a hand to his forehead, and he's rubbing his forehead. And you guys come bumbling in.
No, we don't. We come
No.
walk.
So you come
Oh!
walking in, sorry, you
I
come walking
stride in with my,
Stride in.
because my hood comes down low, it's got the dragon
Yeah.
eyes on the top, so it kind of makes people fear me.
Atmosphere.
Ooh, did you feel that? Did you feel that? You need character coming.
And it-
I walk into the room,
Yep.
and I go, you're gonna give me a warrant to this place, and then I cast Charm Person.
Is that what you say to just this general place?
This place.
To this place that he's in.
No, I go where he wants to go.
So as the spell is being cast, he looks up with this kind of look of, oh God, what the hell is happening here? Kind of, you know, sort of like.
And I want you to come behind me
And
and
you
hold your
can't.
sword.
Oh yeah.
You cast charm person?
I certainly do.
Excellent. So he makes a will save
What's
against
the
what?
floor made
16.
The floor is made of wooden floorboards, so it's a brick building with wooden floorboards, nice old rusty ones. What's the DC? 16.
He passes it with no problem whatsoever.
He does. He sort of looks at you and says, "And who may you gentlemen be?"
We come here.
I am Marcus Rutherford, Dragon Slayer.
Oh God. You part of the militia in the lower orders.
I am the militia. I'm really trying to play here.
This is good. I like
I'm dark. And mysterious.
What are you doing up here?
And ridiculous.
We are here on official business from Shantia.
Official business from Shentia.
We're seeking
Shentia
a-
sends his tiny problems up here.
Yes, we're seeking
I
a
shall
warrant
award
for the rape of a girl.
a warrant for the rape of a girl.
She
Yes.
might be noble, we're not quite sure yet.
But we're seeking the one on 2nd High Street, the balcony building.
Yes, I know the house.
Excellent.
What,
If you could write one out.
a
Your
warrant
lord,
to do
my
what?
lord.
Just to search and question anyone in the building.
Why do you need to question them? They don't need questioning.
Because we believe that they are connected to
We're not saying they're
rape and
guilty.
murder of the girl.
Guilty of what?
Rape and murdering of a girl.
Outrageous claim.
I know, that's why we need to work it
What
out.
did you see? What makes you leap to these absurd conclusions? No one up there is ever involved in anything like that.
Oh,
It might be a bit technical for you, I'm not sure if you would understand.
would you like us to get the girl so you can see?
What girl?
The girl who died.
I
Girl
can bring
died,
the
body
body.
movement.
She died up in that street,
Yes.
up in 2nd High Street.
Well, we
Yes,
can go
the blood trail led us there.
People are up there now looking. You can come with us if you want.
Look, just give a report to the militia up here.
I'm afraid I can't do that. We are on a bound and sworn an oath.
Just making crap up.
My charisma is -1.
Yeah, you got
So I'm just making up crap.
Listen,
Can I just say, fascinate? What is that? Fascinate.
Yes.
Go
Can I
ahead.
You can
fascinate?
start dancing.
Yeah, I'm going to start dancing.
start moving, yeah.
Just to distract him while he's
Yeah.
doing it. So I'm just like this, let's move in my
Yeah,
head.
that's right.
Like
cobra,
this,
like
just-
a
That's
cobra.
good.
Catching him
Like
with
a
the eye.
dragon.
So he gets a saving against that.
DC plus half my level, which is 4 plus my charm monitor, my charisma monitor,
Yeah.
which
So is
is
it more than 14?
yes.
So he's so aghast.
I'm
and
just like,
cracked at your spell. And then you just start to move like shift and in this kind of weirdly way that is almost a magical
I'm gonna go
semantic
over
motion.
and grab his seal and place his seal on a document and then quickly scribe
And
out.
he's there, sort of like he's about to throw up.
That's
or
my
who knows
dragon
what.
eyes. They're just
Right.
lighting
And then
up.
I'm gonna say, sign here, my lord.
And he's overcome and he just signs the document.
Excellent.
And here's the pay rise documents.
Alright,
He snaps out of it immediately.
You want what?
As soon as money's involved, you need
Hey,
another
medical
5.
Excellent, we'll walk out. Or you'll back out, backing out.
Yeah. And then he sort of shakes it off as if he doesn't really remember what's happened and looks up and then you guys are walking out and he shakes his head.
Thank you, my lord.
And goes
Thank you,
Have a good day.
Even worse on the door. So you pick. There's 4 militia standing outside the house now as you approach.
One guy's just like
If I
on
was
the,
to be recognized, is Andrew there?
he's on the ground
Andrew is
dead.
there with Andrew is there with 3 of his mates.
And Roger, is he still there?
Roger's not there. He's off.
Okay, he's gone.
with-
He's in hospital.
with mummy. That's right.
Andrew, excellent. We have a warrant.
He steps back and one of his friends steps forward. And what are you doing here? A warrant.
Yes, from the mayor.
Why did the mayor give you this?
Are you questioning the mayor's authority?
No.
Is this not the mayor's
Absolutely not.
seal?
This
It's just not his signature.
it looks a bit wobbly, but that's the mayor's seal. This is to search his premises.
Yeah.
Come with us.
And question the people.
Go inside and search.
Come.
Okay. So they knock on the door and they call out to the owner of the house.
Yeah, SWAT
They
style.
What is his name?
Sorry, does he have a name?
He does have a name.
Is it
Oh, well,
is
that's
it
everybody's
Michael?
name.
Michael, Andrew, and Roger.
That's one name.
How
Michael
about
Andrew Roger.
Michaelis?
Michaelis. That's it.
Michaelis.
Michaelis.
The
Excellent.
butcher.
Thank you. Michaelis opens the door ajar and says, "What is the meaning? What's the meaning of this intrusion?"
Is your name Michaelis Serasius?
Yes.
I have a warrant for your arrest.
We have a warrant to search your premises and question you. And your servant.
Me? You're intruding in my house? By what authority?
The authority of the man.
It is Matthis' signature.
Kind of, don't look too close.
We wave it slightly.
I'm not dancing again.
I'm perplexed at why he signed such a... Whatever. He must have his reasons.
Perhaps he found the crime fascinating.
Fascinating. What crime?
The death.
The death of what?
The death of one of your servant girls.
I only have one servant girl, and she's quite alive at the moment.
We wish to speak to her.
Is she?
She, yes.
Let's walk past.
He hurriedly, you sort of walk into his greeting room, and he quickly mounts the stairs and goes upstairs.
I go after the guy running to get something with stealth. You run.
So you sort of shadow him up the stairs.
I have an awesome stealth. Don't mock me. I can do this.
I'm not mocking you.
I just look very casual doing it.
So you
I shadow
You're
him.
going to try and go
So we're
upstairs.
going one direction, he's going another direction? Is that right?
Well, you entered the foyer. He's just running upstairs to go and get the servant, presumably.
Oh, we'll follow him, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we
follow
need
up
to
the
stealth.
stairs.
Or you can, if you want to, you can't check it off like
See-
walk if you like.
So you start coming up the stairs behind him. He stops and turns around and says, "Oh, you needn't accompany me. I shall bring her down immediately."
Ah, but the warrant says the house where we'll have to go.
What?
Lead the way, Michaelis Serasius.
Go
I will fetch her.
by the power of the mayor. I compel you.
Good.
So he stands there at the stairs,
I
not
want to walk
wanting
past him.
not wanting you to
Unless
follow.
he...
He puts out his hand to stop you. Little one, come down. Greet us. Make yourself respectable.
Yeah, just gotta go through that.
You
Oh.
can try and fascinate again.
Yeah.
How many times can you do that?
Fascinating is a dance. I can do it.
Oh, you can do as many times as you want.
Yeah.
It's not like a spell.
It's not a spell.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Slip under the arm,
Yeah.
head on up.
So you hear a rustling in one of the bedrooms upstairs.
Excellent, we'll head on up.
And
Yeah,
you
I
head
go
on
up
up
too.
and you enter the room and you enter the
First,
room and there's this
you'll
little dark-skinned girl who you saw who's quickly sort of rustling and pulling on her boots and stuff like that. She has sort of reasonably nice sort of stuff.
Tell me, girl, what is your name?
Alexia.
Alexia, I love these names.
Good name.
Alexia.
Well done.
Tell me,
Mock
what is
my
your
names,
race?
I'm of the desert people. What?
Are there many people like you here
Thousands.
in Aras?
In Aras. Is that where I am?
Were you kidnapped? Do you not know where you are?
I've been travelling in the dark, and this kind gentleman has taken care of me.
Do you know anybody else that you are traveling?
There was a murder
A murder?
of a girl of your race. I thought you might know her.
There were other children with me travelling in the dark.
How many?
Oh, there are many with us. I don't know. This kind gentleman took care of me
How long ago did he take you here?
last night.
Has he done anything unseemly to you?
She sort of whitens and
I can't tell. Tell me, girl, speak up.
she
Far-sightedness.
how long do you have before Mathis gets there?
Is there a length of time on the thing? Eye contact.
She starts to tear up and sort of flaps for clothing and sort of
24 hours.
This kind
24 hours.
this kind gentleman has been so good to me and
Nice.
taken me for.
We're here to help you.
Here to help me.
Oh no, it's not 24 hours.
Girl,
Strange,
this place is not safe.
not safe. But it's safer than where I was in the dark.
Amongst your people.
I was with my people, and then I was in the dark, and then I don't know. And this gentleman's been taking care of me, and then she just starts to cry.
Girl, we will take you back to your people. If you will tell us.
Well, don't take me back to the dark, people. Don't take me back to the place where I was.
We will take you back to your own kind, your own people, your community, your family.
But they let me go.
They sold you?
Do these people have funny faces?
Funny faces.
Do you remember the people who took you in the dark?
She sort of looks like she's trying to search her memory, like she's been, befuddled or something.
Fascinating.
And she's standing there with tears streaming down her face.
I'm just gonna go have a look around the other rooms at this top level.
Yeah. So you're looking around while you guys sort of try, and she's sort of becoming quickly more and more a mess. The more and more pressure you put on her. But you leave, and you're looking around with your dim vision, and it's just a normal house. It's just a normal, respectable noble's house. There's an office there with papers, signing off sort of loads of this and that,
I'm gonna nick the seal.
you pocket the seal.
Yeah.
After a couple of minutes, comes bursting in downstairs a bunch of these militia and Mathis and Michaelis. And Michaelis is raving at Mathis about how his house has been violated and how dare and hasn't he paid his dues and Mathis comes sort of storming upstairs and says, "You gentlemen will leave this premises immediately."
You signed the warrant there.
I signed the what warrant?
It has your seal and everything.
You even signed it.
I signed that.
Yes.
I will not do something to this good man, this good citizen. You will leave immediately.
Not before we have some answers
Some answers to what?
to the
Right.
questions.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Well, that's
Excellent.
obvious. What do you want?
We'd like to question you about this girl.
Me?
No.
This girl? Who is she anyway?
No.
Exactly.
That's
We want to know more about her. So tell us.
And Michaela says,
Where did you find her?
Michaela says she's my bonded servant.
When did you purchase her? And from whom?
I purchased. This insolence is not appropriate. I do not deserve to be questioned like this.
Well, we
And
require.
this is quite right.
We-
Yes.
I'm gonna
To his chin again.
to Michaelis Serasius.
Michaela
You're a loose
Serasius.
cannon.
Oh, we're gonna die.
Gonna go bad. We're gonna end up fighting the whole.
Intimidation is not.
There's like about 7 or 8 of these militia there.
You know what I do? Trip them.
But I almost killed him with a scratch.
That's
We'll be
right.
I'm so happy I'm versing people with 2 legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. So you draw up rapidly.
I got 23.
Mathis brings his blade out in almost a swifter movement.
Mathis or
Mathis does. Michaelis wouldn't know bloody which end to hold of a blade. But 17 isn't good enough, and he tries to bring his blade out. You get your blade to the chin of Michaelis, and then Mathis's sword comes crashing down on your blade and attempts to push it away.
But on the 17 doesn't.
But he doesn't.
Well,
Is that
he doesn't get it first on the 17. Yeah,
like that kind of thing?
no. So your blade comes up, and then he's slamming his blade into yours to push it out of the way, which it does. It pushes it away from his throat level, unless you want to try and resist.
You gotta resist.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
was that
so combat maneuvers.
Yeah.
Each way. Oh gosh, he gets 14.
combat maneuver bonus?
Yeah.
Or you get my CMB against the
CMB.
CMB?
CMB is good.
I didn't do too well either. I got 15.
15. So you beat him. So he's trying to push your blade away. All the blades come out from these 7 militia.
Oh, here we go.
I also say with my red hot.
with my blade up to
Have you got
Michaelis Serasius,
Yep.
and say, before my people were wiped out by the Lich King Ashdohan, I was once a noble like yourself. So you will treat me with more respect, or you will feel my blade harder than you're feeling it right now.
He's sort of backing away as the blade pushes into his chin.
Everybody gets these little chin.
Well, they know who they've been messing with. Because I can't see those little scratches, so I don't have a clue.
You just mark it with Z's, like a little. Well, what do you
Little
call
C.
the characters? Yeah, little
That's
C.
just a C.
You can still catch Steele has been there, and Michaelis
Follow the dimple.
blanches white, and Mathis is sort of trying to hold your blade and pulls his blade away, and Michaelis says, "Look, I bought this girl at the circus, fair and square. If you have trouble with this sort of issue, you can go and talk to the circus."
Okay, let's
Who
do
is the
that.
leader of the
Excellent.
circus?
Thank you for your help.
Do we know-
Thank you.
Do we know who the leader is? You
Well,
did
that
mention
woman,
that, didn't you?
Madam Sliver,
Madam-
Madam Sliver.
Release her.
Oh, yeah.
It's the leader of Madam Sliver's Spectacular Spectaculum.
Thank you, my lord. You have been very helpful. Now, if you could show me where the door is, I will leave you in peace.
You will, yes.
That's it. It's somewhere over there.
Downstairs.
Yes.
Excellent. I have to feel my way down the room.
So as you
Yeah.
make your way down the stairs, sort of flanked by about sort of 4 or 5 of these militia who are trying to look intimidating.
But we're walking like a boss.
I'm wearing dragon mail.
That's right.
And I look like a dragon. I'm
You
like,
can hear Michaelis just hammering into Mathis like at a whisper tone, and Mathis trying to apologise, and you can hear the little girl weeping as you abandon her, and
She's a bond of servants, so
That's
we
right.
legally, I mean, even as good aligned characters, we can't really do much in that situation.
yeah, no.
But we'll come back to her,
Mm.
or she'll be dead.
Wondered.
Yeah,
We have
so
a war.
you're out in the street. What to do?
It's still valid.
Should we take a break there?
Sure, that sounds good.
that's all good.
Nice job.
Excellent.
To the circus. Oh, yeah.